What baby name makes you want to punch the parents in the face? My cousin named her daughter Kaitlyn, that's Caitlin, but with a Q and the number 8 instead of the letters 8. Every time this child has to spell her name, she looks dead inside and she's only 7. But that's not even the worst part. Her full name is Kaitlyn Mackenzie Rainbow Stormy. Each name is a deliberately butchered version of something normal, Mackenzie, Rainbow, and Storm, but made unique with unnecessary letters and creative spelling. The poor kid goes by Kate at school, which infuriates my cousin. Her name is Kaitlyn. It's unique. She regularly storms into the school demanding they use the full spelling on everything. The teacher told me privately that Kaitlyn herself asked to be called Kate. At the pediatrician's office, I watched the receptionist's face journey through confusion, horror, and resignation as my cousin spelled out the name, letter by letter, QueightLynn. The receptionist had to ask her to repeat it 3 times. The 8 is a number, my cousin added proudly, like the digit 8. Ma'am, our system doesn't allow numbers in the name field. Then spell it out. 8. That would be Kaitlyn. No, just figure it out. The kid's social security card apparently took 6 attempts to get right. The DMV, for her state ID, told my cousin that numbers weren't legally allowed in names. She threatened to sue for discrimination against creative naming choices. At family gatherings, my cousin makes everyone practice pronouncing it correctly, even though it sounds exactly like Caitlin. She gets furious when people spell it wrong on birthday cards, which is always because no human could remember that letter disaster. The breaking point came at Kaitlyn's school concert. They were doing a thing where each kid stepped forward when their name was called. The principal looked at the list, looked at my cousin's angry face in the audience, looked back at the list, and just said, "Next, we have Kate." My cousin stood up and screamed, "It's Kaitlyn, QueightLynn." The entire auditorium went silent. Kaitlyn started crying. The principal apologetically tried to pronounce it while reading the spelling, came out with something like QueightLynn, and my cousin lost it completely. She grabbed the microphone and spent 3 minutes explaining the artistic significance of her daughter's name, how the Q represented uniqueness, the 8 was for infinity turned sideways, how the spelling was a reflection of her creative soul. Meanwhile, Kaitlyn had walked off stage and was sitting with her teacher, who was comforting her. I heard her say, "I just want to be Kate." But the worst incident was when Kaitlyn tried to sign up for a library card. The librarian, a sweet elderly woman, tried so hard to enter the name correctly. My cousin hovered over her, barking corrections. "No, that's not an O, it's a 0. Wait, no, there's no 0. The 8 is a number." The librarian's hands were shaking. She'd worked there 40 years and later told me she'd never felt so incompetent. It took 45 minutes to get a library card. Last month, Kaitlyn asked me privately if she could legally change her name when she turns 18. I told her yes. She looked so relieved I wanted to cry. "I want to be Catherine," she said. "Just normal Catherine with a K." Her younger brother? His name is Jackson Deuteronomy Alphonse III. There is no first or second. My cousin just liked how the third sounded. The poor kid is 4 and can't spell any of his names. Their youngest? Mikhaile. It's supposed to be Michelle. The daycare had to create a special label system just for her because none of the teachers could remember the spelling. My cousin posts constantly about how boring people don't understand creative expression and how her children will thank her for making them stand out. Meanwhile, Kaitlyn has started a savings account for her future name change. She adds birthday money to it and calls it her Catherine Fund. She showed me the bank book where she'd written Catherine Smith, taking her dad's surname instead of my cousin's, in neat 7-year-old handwriting. The saddest part? These kids are lovely, smart, and kind, but they'll spend their entire lives spelling their names, correcting pronunciations, and dealing with the consequences of their mother's desperate need to be special through them. At a recent doctor's appointment, the nurse looked at Kaitlyn's chart and said, "I'm sorry, there must be a typo here." Kaitlyn, 7 years old, sighed and said, "No, that's right, QueightLynn. The 8 is a number." She sounded so tired, so defeated. That's when I wanted to punch my cousin most.